All right, welcome in, Pisces. How are you? Let's talk about July. So this is going to be a very big month. We do have some retrogrades happening, 4 of them, and 2 of them are in the very early degrees of Aries, and so they're going to pop back into your sign of Pisces. That's be Neptune and Saturn. So we'll talk more about that in the extended. I'll give you some idea. If you're watching this, if you're watching my readings for July, I want you to give yourself a gift and read. Okay. Watch your rising sign. If you normally watch your sun sign, watch the rising sign or the ascendant sign, same thing. And you might get a whole different approach or a whole different story. Watch the sun and the rising and see how they might interact. The rising sign astrology the rising sign is critical to the astrology that I talk about in the extended because it maps the houses, right? So if I'm telling you something is happening in your 4th house, if you're a rising sign Pisces, okay, that's your 4th house. But if you're a sun sign, your sun can be anywhere. It certainly does not have to be in the 1st house. Okay, so Pisces may not lay out that way in your birth chart. So if you're confused by that, check out your ascendant or rising sign. And also this fall, I'm going to be launching a very comprehensive astrology academy, mapping your timeline. All right, so if you're really confused about all this astrology stuff, you might want to jump on that. More details coming in August. Okay, let's take a look. Underneath is talisman, which is the key to everything here. Oh boy. Shadow, shift. Ooh, I like this. Shadow, shift, and guides. All right, the key to everything. What did I say to somebody yesterday that I was noticing in the readings? That the key to everything is understanding that your comfort zone is the most dangerous place you could be. Okay, definitely when we have Uranus is at the very last degree of Taurus, and Taurus can be about safety and security. And when the planet is moving through the final degree, it's a culmination. It can be like a season ending episode that is wowza. Okay. So there can be something happening, especially if you have a lot of Taurus energy. We've got Uranus moving into Gemini this month. We've got the retrogrades, Saturn, Neptune, Chiron, and Mercury. Yes, Mercury is retrograding. It's retrograding in Leo. So I'll talk more about how that might impact you. Let's see what the reading has to say. The 2 of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords, the Page of Swords, the Queen of Wands, and the Strength card. Since very early in this year, I have been saying how important Lionsgate is going to be this year. And and that's happening in August, early August. We're talking about July, but this is definitely this has a setup feel. Queen of Swords, Queen of Wands, some kind of creative conversation going on or something that is going to be very impactful for you. There can also be some kind of conversation that really anchors you and moves you forward. And it's like the new chapter. Almost like having the courage to face a shadow is shifting you into this new beginning this month. I love it. Queen of Pentacles, 3 queens so far. 2 of Swords. 9 of Pentacles. Love the 9 of Pentacles. The Star. There's Aquarian energy. We have Leo and Aquarius here. Leo and Aquarius are opposite signs, and we have a new moon in Leo. We also have that Mercury retrograde in Leo, but new moon in Leo is opposing Pluto retrograding in Aquarius. And what that means is that your healing, your internal healing may come into some kind of stress around you might have to do something courageous in order for the healing to proceed. Okay. So that might be something that's happening this month. 6 of Pentacles, Six of Swords. Yeah. Something about becoming more independent. Some of you are moving on from a situation, having a lot of conversations about moving on from a situation. This has been taking a lot of your time and energy. But I feel like it's a very healing shift that you're going through, even though here's the Three of Swords, the Sun. Oh yeah, beautiful energy. And the Six of Cups. Look at all those sixes, swords, coins. So the Six of Wands, which is victory, is the one that's missing. So usually, if you take my tarot class, you know this, that the fourth card that's missing usually is hovering above the reading, ready to be born into this reading. And the Six of Wands is the energy of victory. So you might be having a lot of conversations about moving on from a situation, doing healing work as you're doing that. It does have some impact on your money or on your, the way you look at yourself in terms of your worth and value. Some of you might be negotiating the ending of a job. Like if there's some kind of layoff going on, you're negotiating for a better deal. Some of you are negotiating a new job and needing to remember your worth and value. No question about that. So I love that the Sun and the Six of Cups are down here. This is something about a wish or a dream coming true that you've had since childhood. And to get there, there's a courageous step you're going to need to take. You're going to need to become more of yourself. You're going to need to step into your power. You're going to need to manifest from a place of courage. It's taking courage to get here. Some of you may be ending a chapter of your life that maybe you never thought you'd be ending. We'll take a look at that in the extended about, where those planets are as it relates to you. You could also be moving. There could be this is a big, big change. Yep. Ace of Cups. There it is. Ace of Cups, Page of Wands, the Emperor, and the Three of Cups. Some celebration around the beginning of something. So this is Aries energy. And Aries energy is about new beginnings. It's about having, if Leo is courage, having the courage. Sagittarius is honesty, having the honesty or having the clarity. Even more than Aquarius. I feel like Sagittarius is like, I'm going to be stepping into some kind of power of mine through my own expansion. Like I'm wanting to go in a direction. I'm very adventurous, and I'm doing this. Aries is more like I'm stepping into this new chapter because I want to. It's about who I am becoming. Got lots of Leo and Aries here. It's who you are becoming. You're becoming someone new, but it's based in a dream you had from childhood. So what is this Three of Swords? Hanged Man, Empress. Oh, Emperor, Empress. Four of Pentacles and the Five of Wands. This was like you've had to fight for your self-worth. You've had to fight for the recognition that you deserve in some parts of your life. And it might be that you're giving away a lot of money, leaving money on the table. You're not really negotiating very well, or you haven't been in the past, but now you are because you know your self-worth. And Aries is falling in that second house of self-worth. Okay. And it is about your money. It is about how much money you can earn is directly proportional to how much value you think you have. So if you think that you're worth less, you're going to be afraid about asking for money, or you're going to not really ask for what the possibilities are of that job. You're going to, take it on the cheap, or you're going to take a low offer. Some of you are negotiating with the ending of a relationship, and you're negotiating for help, support. You're negotiating for the money that you put into the house. You're negotiating whatever it is. And you're really going to have to grow some courage, because I feel like it's a big number. And I feel like that number is going to be maybe intimidating to you. So your job is to recognize your own worth and value. Some of you are moving into a new chapter, and this is the price of admission of getting into the new chapter, is making sure you bring with you what you have created, what you've developed. Oh, look at that. King of Pentacles underneath. What you've developed, who you are becoming, because you've planted a lot of seeds here with this Queen of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles. It's almost like you don't see your worth and value. Look at that. Ace of Pentacles, not seeing your worth and value. Eight of Swords, the Knight of Swords, and the Knight of Pentacles. Okay. So if you are negotiating in some way this month, I'm definitely getting, my palms are itchy right now, which generally means like income. I feel like you're going to have to ask for a lot more than you're comfortable with. And it's even then, it might be less than what you deserve. So when I was getting divorced, I had put a lot of I had some money from my mother when she passed away, and I had put that into the house, and I just wanted to get that back. And so my ex-husband was going to have to buy me out of the house. I said, hey, let's agree on this price. That will give me the money back from Mom. Okay. And then one night in the middle of the night, I woke up and I was like, if I don't really understand the value of this house, then I don't have all the information. And the house can sometimes be a metaphor for how we're valuing ourselves. Because sometimes, people look at their own homes and they way overvalue them because it's the emotional connection that you have to the home. Like, this is a place where all my babies were born, and this is the gardens I put in, and we put in another well so that there could be garden, whatever. But the actual dollars and cents of something is based on what the market will bear. And there's a lot of disappointment when it comes to getting money out of a house because, it isn't truly worth what you think it's worth. But in this case, it was worth more than I thought it was. And I woke up in the middle of the night, and I was, the next day I called a friend of mine who'd been doing real estate in that town for a long time. And she told me, she's like, if you're going to settle for the number that you made that deal with your ex-husband, you're out of your mind. You need to, reconsider. And so he got mad, but it was right because that's what the bank appraised it at. And we made a new deal. I gave him a friends and family discount, even after knowing that, because I was going to get my money back, and it worked out. We both got what we wanted. And there's something here about standing up for yourself and not, especially as it relates to money matters. Knowing your worth and value is going to be important. Like maybe if you're negotiating for a job, what's that movie that Albert Brooks is in? Is it Defending Your Life? No, I don't think maybe it is. Anyway, he's like, I'm going to go. This was made in the 80s or the 90s, so the salary range was ridiculous. But he's like, not a dime under $45,000, not a dime under $45,000. The guy's like $29,000. He's like, thank you very much. And you're like, oh my God, what? So, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel this month is going to give you a real opportunity, because that's what, now I'm getting some kind of Saturn energy for you that, we do have Saturn in Aries. It is going to pop back into your sign of Pisces. There's something about having, just starting out to learn the lessons of something, and it's going to pop back into your sign of Pisces. And so it's going to, Saturn is going to be about you, reconnecting spiritually, knowing your own worth and value, being able to do all those things. And Saturn, when Saturn leaves a giftie, when you do the work and you learn the lessons, Saturn leaves a giftie in the in the guise of or in the shape of an opportunity. Saturn doesn't like wrap something up and give it to you like, here you go, here's $10,000, here's a new job, here's the love of your life. Saturn doesn't do that. Saturn says, here's an opportunity for you to use the information to get to this next level. And I feel like that's what's happening here. You know, because Saturn has been in your sign of Pisces for a couple of years, since around March of 2023. And what are the lessons you've learned, especially about sticking up for yourself? All right. Especially about sticking up for yourself. So let's go deeper, Pisces. If this is your reading, I'm going to look deeper at what you don't see coming. I'm going to talk about the astrology in more specifics and let you know how July is going to unfold for you. Okay. If this is your reading, link below if you want to continue with me. I'll see you over there. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.